really cool to sit down with you guys. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for yours.
You know, I mean, it's amazing to think in Canada, corner gas, I mean, it's a staple. I mean, it's something that I think coast to coast people talked about. What's it like returning to, you know, the characters that you've had a bit of a break from?
It's nice. It was cozy. Because it's like hanging with family, you know. We became family over the course of, well, really over the course of that first summer, but certainly over 6 years. We're inextricably bonded now. Is that a word? Inextricably?
I think it is.
It doesn't feel like a word. It feels
Inextricably.
close to being a word.
It's like comfort food. It's like
Yes.
coming back. It was like sitting down and have a nice bowl of soup. You know what I mean? It just it felt right. It's comfortable. It's natural. Like it's not hard to step back into that role with everyone.
Yeah, it was a big chunk of our lives. It was a third of her life. We just figured out. Ridiculous.
Well, a little less. But I was just kind of averaging, you know.
But yeah, 6 years of hanging out, doing, you know, when you're shooting, it's 12-hour days. So
Right.
we're hanging
Spend
out
more time together than you do with anyone, you know.
than your
and-
dopey old family.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and especially
Those
in Regina,
jerks.
I felt like Regina it's not a big city, so we were kind of, you know, it was hard to blend into Regina, and it's like it was always like, oh, those are the people that are filming the TV show. So you're sort of you become even closer.
Yeah.
They didn't talk like
No,
that.
they and they didn't say, hey, those are the people filming the TV show. But you know, we did kind of stick out a little bit. Like it was always like, oh, they're here. You know, it was like we sort of traveled as a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I just pictured up us as wolves. Like, we'd get up and like howl, and then everybody would come together and we'd go roam
I
around.
picture it as more as like a cool gang. With like
That's better,
matching
yeah. Like
satin
cool,
jackets.
yeah, or leathers.
Our leathers. That makes me think we're in leather chaps. Sorry. Our leathers.
I'm a
We're
bear.
We're a biker gang. I don't know where we are now. Sorry.
At what point did you guys know this was going to happen? I mean, you know, it was very sudden, I think, for the public to be like, oh, they're making it. Oh, here it comes.
The movie?
Yeah.
It did kind of come together, you know, once, I guess it depends when you start, when you look at when we started. I got together with a couple of the guys who wrote on the TV show, and we started kicking ideas around to see if we could come up with a script that made sense to do, because we didn't want to make a movie at any cost. We only wanted to do it if we thought we could service the fans properly and give them something that felt good and right and all those kind of things. And we didn't know if that was going to be able to work if you could transfer a 22-minute known entity that people are familiar with and like, make that work over 90 minutes. It could be very tricky, and it was very tricky. So we wrote for about a year and a half before we got comfortable with the script and reached out to the cast to see if they, you know, now that we got a script, I wonder if we have a cast.
And we were really difficult to get on board. I think we all got calls in February.
I'm bad with chronology.
I
but
feel
think
like it
I
was
that's-
never
February.
remember dates.
I don't remember dates, but I
ever.
just know, obviously I was on a timeline where I was measuring weeks. So I do,
Right.
yeah, I think it
She
was,
was pushed.
yeah. So I feel like it must have been February. So February, and then it was announced, made public in May? Originally it was going to be April, then it got pushed. I think it was May.
But the
And
timeline
then
was
all of a
all
sudden we were there.
condensed because everybody that was involved wanted this to be able to happen before Christmas.
Right.
So all the entities that were involved said, yeah, we'll get on board as long as it can be delivered by Christmas. And we said, yeah, we can do that.
That's
And then we
cool.
got together and said, can we do that? So it was all compressed.
Well, the timing for the 10th anniversary is perfect. I mean, I can't think of a better time to have this happen. What about the whole Kickstarter idea? I mean, was that something that just fell in your lap, or how did that happen? Because I think the fans really appreciated being involved.
It started with me and my partners talking about finding a way to allow fans, hardcore fans of the show, to participate on a different level. And the more we talked about it, it became evident that somebody younger than us basically said, it sounds like you guys are talking about Kickstarter. And so we were all kind of old fuddy-duddies and didn't know a lot about it. And we got our eyes open to Kickstarter, and we say, yeah, it does sound like that. So we decided to put together this campaign, and the response was ridiculous. We wanted to see if we could raise 100,000 in 30 days, and we did it in 26 hours, I think.
Right.
We have really incredible fans, and I think that's been a really nice part of this experience is that there has been a lot of fan engagement. And while we were shooting the film, we had people come and visit us on set, and that was neat, right?
Yeah,
It's really special to share that. And I agree, we do have awesome fans, and I love having Twitter and being able to communicate with our fans, and because they are such a huge part of the success of the show. So it's just nice that they do feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
They're going to put our little Twitter handles up underneath of our name.
Every time you do that, they end up somewhere else.
Did you guys, were you surprised by how it ended up? Like, once you were actually filming it, were there surprising moments once you were actually moving along?
The most surprising thing for me was getting back to work with everybody and feeling like we had never left each other. It was so lovely because I didn't know, so a lot of time had passed, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited about it, but how's it going to feel? And really, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was we were weirded out a little bit
Yeah,
by
it was
how
fun.
Creepy it was.
we
It
were
was like,
expecting it to be something. We were expecting it to be different, and it just wasn't. It was like,
not at all.
but I think you can feel that in the movie when you watch the movie. One of the things I'm proudest of, like my biggest fear going into this was, I don't want to damage corner gas for the fans, people who like the show. I didn't want to create something now that hurt it. And hearing that response from people saying, because a lot of people went into the movie with the same fear.
Is this...
People going,
I
hope this doesn't suck. And then they're elated that, it feels great. It just works.
I think it's kind of like the same idea of like ending a show, like a finale episode. Like, how do you end 6 amazing seasons with a show that's not going to disappoint people? I think it's magnified 10 times that doing a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. There's high expectations, and I think there's a lot of things that have to kind of come together properly to make it not stink. And that's the thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of everybody pulling in the same direction and everybody being on the same page and buying into what we're doing. And
Literally, our script, we have to be reading from the same page, or
Otherwise
it would be in huge...
It makes no sense.
So it'd be like,
Weird.
what?
What are you talking about?
I'm not even in
Rhinoceros?
any scenes with you. I don't get no. How are we here?
Is there any teases you can give the fans who haven't seen it yet? Because I'm sure when it
They
debuts on
should,
TV,
you jerk. I'm teasing your
That was...
viewers. You're going bald, you idiot.
because I think there are some big surprises. They're fairly big surprises.
There's
along the
nothing
way.
that we can say or want to say that will give away any of the kind of big surprises, because we want our audience to really go along for the ride and enjoy those surprises. But we can say that Dog River is in a whole lot of trouble when we meet them.
Yeah, it's facing elimination. It's bankrupt. It might be disappearing, and so the townsfolk have to decide whether they're going to go their separate ways, call it a life, and wrap it up, or fight for the town that they love.
And so they just wrap it up.
Yes. It's a really short movie. Yeah, it's...
All the cast move. They get on a bus and they go city to city solving mysteries.
Oh, wait a second, this could work.
Well, that's my next question. Is there? This has been, in my eyes, so successful. Is it going to happen again? Are we going to see a 15th anniversary or a 20th, or can you keep
I think the increments have to be shorter if we're going to continue doing that.
It's not on my list of things to do. I always wanted to revisit Dog River one more time, get together with this group of people one more time, and kind of do a cherry on top type of thing. And if you're creative people, you want to create, and I also don't want to. I don't want this to get worn out and tired and old and weird, and have people go, why are they still making this? Gotta wrap it up, you guys.
We could just every 5 years get together.
And have dinner.
and have dinner. Just tape it and be like,
Yeah, let's
oh,
do
we're
that."
just having some dinner.
Well, thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.